we also echo to this particular slogan, Jal Dharo, Jal Varo. But since long, we are practicing the execution of this particular slogan at MPS. Thank you. Thanks, everybody. And I would request, on behalf of our group, MPS Group of Companies, just have a visit at our project and resort at MPS Group of Companies, and you all are welcome like anything. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mukherjee and Mr. Sengupta, for making a very educated presentation. Let me now turn to Mr. A.D. Ghosh, Senior Deputy General Manager, Cluster Project Manager of L&T, to make the next presentation.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. At the beginning, I would like to thank Mr. Mukherjee as well as Mr. Bhattacharya to give me a chance to address such a learned and senior-most and educated gatherings. But at the beginning, honestly, I'm telling you, I'm not a speaker, neither I am a good narrator. I'm a hardcore operation from Larsen and Toubro Limited. I am heading the water business of the eastern regions of Larsen and Toubro. I am here at Calcutta since last 1 year. Before that, I was in Western at Gujarat, Ahmedabad. There also I was doing the same the capacity. I have been asked to share our involvement, L&T's involvement, and some experience and best practices. I try to tell you. Plus, please excuse me if, as a speaker as well as a good narrators. L&T, I think L&T as a company, they don't need any introductions. We are the leading construction company and our turnover is 45,000 crores. And we have all the sector in the power sector, water sector, metallurgicals, and infrastructures. And as far as the water is concerned, in the water there are around 10 to 12 companies, those who are directly and seriously involved in the water business. Out of that, Larsen and Toubro covers 40% of the total water business in India, as well as we have our presence in Middle East also. We have started in the Middle East also. In fact, Larsen and Toubro takes the water project as an EPC contract on EPC basis, engineering, procurement, constructions, then handovers. And we are seriously in the business since from the 90s. In fact, in the western part, particularly Gujarat and Rajasthan, they mostly depend on the surface water. That the level of the groundwater is too much low, so it is not possible for them. So I am sharing some experience, one project in the Saurashtra area, where the Rajkot, Bhavnagar and those areas, there the people used to get water once in 7 to 10 days, that too for the half an hour. And if you go to the rural area, they don't even take bath for days after days after, and they use some peculiar type days which covered full body. So they are really the scarcity of the water. So the EPC concept has started mainly from the Gujarat, as far as I know. They have started from the Gujarat, and the government has taken the Narmada. They have increased the height of the Narmada dam, and they have taken the canal towards mainly the Saurashtra area, Kutch area, where mostly the desert area, no drinking water is available. And we did there almost 5 to 6 projects. I am just sharing one experience. The first project we did one at Amreli. It's called the area as Amreli. And the water has been taken long back from the South Gujarat. And the pipeline has covered almost 150 kilometers. And after that, when the project is commissioned, treatment plant is commissioned, and we have started commissioning, they cannot believe, in every 200 meter, 500 meter, there are the valves are there. And the villagers, are they are in the queue to take that water. They could not imagine that they will get water such a way from the far way is from the south Gujarat. It is going to the Saurashtra, is almost is the west Gujarat, and the travel was almost 200 kilometers. So there really the scarcity of water is there, and utilize this part, as I have observed. Fortunate we are, the scarcity of water is not there. Okay, some arsenic related water is there, but in fact that scarcity of water that we have seen on that western part. We have done another project at Rajasthan, that is 400 MLD project, that is for the city of the Jaipur, metro cities of the Jaipur, and that water also they have, that is also surface water from through the pipeline. They have to brought the water from 100 kilometers away. After that it is being treated, and along the cities now they are giving the water. Another project we have done that is remarkable, that it is in the Jaisalmer. That is the desert area of the, Mr. Bhattacharya was telling that we are misusing. It is not that. In some places they are doing the good project. The canals, Rajiv Gandhi canals, actually Indira Gandhi canals, then divert to Rajiv Gandhi canals. From the Punjab, along the border, they have taken inside the Rajasthan, the Dart area, desert area. From that canal, they are taking the waters and giving to the desert like Jaisalmer, Barmer, and the project has been already commissioned. And we have executed, Lasan and Tube has executed that project with a very successful and with a committed project. And this gives us the satisfactions where that we are serving for the public. As because those places are desert, sometimes we face problem, our engineers are getting demotivated, that we are keeping at the desert area, then we wish to motivate them. You see that you are the representative of the God. You are managing the water for the public, those who are suffering for the waters, and definitely they are not giving the good quality of waters. Now, coming to this part, last 1 year, here actually I think mostly it is dependent on the groundwater. But now I think West Bengal government has started some surface water project. One project I think they have already, fund has been sanctioned by the central government, rural for the Bankura. And that tender has already come, that they are taking water from Damodar Valley at Durgapur, and they are distributing this water to the district of the Bankura. Similarly, Purulia also, Jaiga funded project, that also will be the surface water project. And slowly, I think West Bengal government, mainly the rural area is controlled by Public Health Engineering Department. I thought Mr. Saurav Das would have been here. I think I have seen your name. That was one of my to come over here. Is the Principal Secretary of PHE. So they are bringing down number of projects. Purulia, even in South 24 Parganas also we have heard some 1400 crore projects. It is in the pipeline. So from the rivers, they will put the desalination plant, and they remove where the arsenic is there, they will remove the arsenic and it will be distributed to the public of the West Bengals. We are, as a Lasan and Tibro, we are also involved in the wastewater project. Wastewater project, now the central government with the help of the World Bank, they have taken a mission to clean the Ganges. And they have made one Ganga Basin Action Plan, National Ganga Basin Action Plan they have started. And already some tender has been floated. Along the Ganges in the Bhatpara, Noyati, they will collect the waste and it will be treated before it put it in the Ganges. So that from even around 40 projects are coming in West Bengal. That is what I understand. Out of that, 3-4 projects already in the pipelines. And in the I have just here, in fact, I do not know whether any policy maker is there or not. I just wanted to mention earlier, why can't we introduce the PPP model as per the best practices, PPP model, the revenue on the water, why can't we introduce, particularly in the urban area, where mostly the middle class lives. Like, I think the cities like Salt Lake and Newtown, at least we can start our experiment from there. So we used to put to the government also, okay, there are some restrictions, some age there. But the funny thing is that we buy this type of bottle, 1 liter we pay, don't even bother to pay 20 rupees. But from the government, if they give good quality of water, or any organization they manage, suppose some area will be given to the particular company as the PPP basis, you distribute this water and you collect revenue. So it is our thinking, social thinking. We should educate our citizens and need that for the good water, for the get the good quality, for your health, it is nothing wrong to spend some money on that. Mostly we are taking, those who are lives, and mostly we are taking from the outsider or this type of, or we put our personal RO plant. Instead of that, as a whole, we can make a good, we can supply. Company like L&T has the capability to supply a good quality of water to every household. But it has some cost that has to be, and we are proposing to number of the others in the Gujarat, Rajasthan, in Tamil Nadu also, there also we have proposed. Finally, I will come to one that inert W, non-revenue water. That is one project already, it has been introduced in Chennai. Because what I have seen, while if you travel, the number of leakages are there. While supplying the water, every liter has a cost. Instead of that, almost 60% water are being getting leaked. There is no, even we are not getting paid. We cannot collect the revenue for the water. At least if we can stop this leakage, we can reduce the cost. Government itself, those who are the supplying authority, they can reduce the cost of the operation of supplying the water, existing supply of water. That project also we have proposed to, even to state government of West Bengal also we have proposed. And similar project has been done in Chennai. Finally, I think all of you are it is our responsibility to save the water, and we should give. The water should be given value as good as gold. Then only we will understand the value of the waters. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Ghosh. You have briefly described what L&T has been doing in this field. I think the two presentations have been quite nice, quite educative, but at the same time, it leaves us with some sort of a vacuum, some sort of a concern that what is being done in water management is far, far less than what the country needs or what the citizens need. I think we are nowhere close to that. But maybe it is nice to know that the expertise is available with companies like L&T to do good water projects and to supply water. For that, proper business models are required. I think water is an area where no business model has emerged so far. That was the point being made in the last session also. And without a proper business model, possibly much progress is unlikely to take place. I am aware of a few cases because of my little bit of a mining experience. There is a huge source of water is there in the mines. And I'm aware of certain partnerships and collaboration that was done in Jharkhand between the Jharkhand PHE in the Dhanbad sector and some of the mines. And some water projects were taken up. The mine water was pumped out, and mine water quality is usually good. And they were then processed, and it was meeting the need of the nearby vicinities. But much more could be done. In fact, I didn't have an answer. With 470 odd mines and at least 250 underground mines, why only 5 mines or 6 mines? Mine water management is tried out. Why can't we extend it to every other mine? Particularly during the rains, there are instances of mines becoming flooded, becoming reservoir of water, And then what happens to that water? We just don't care much. So I think this is an area which has remained nascent. A lot needs to be done, and unless that much is done with the urgency it deserves, we are really heading for a far bigger problem from this water side than from any other side. I think energy and other areas are better tackled, better measured, better managed than water. There is hardly any measurement. In fact, I was quite happy to see what the MPS presentation was all about. But I would like to, it would be interesting to know what has been the costs and what has been the benefits. What has been the measurement of the problems. I mean, was a baseline survey done of Jharkhand, of Jhargram, before the project was initiated, and after the project, what has been the changes in the parameters? I think this kind of a survey is important to throw up. What is the impact of these kind of projects? And the impact must also be stated, not only in physical terms, but also in financial terms. So more needs to be done. These are some examples we wanted to present, but we wanted to leave this thought with you that there is a big vacuum in this area, and we need more LNTs and more MPSs to come forward. Thank you very much. Any questions?
Just one query, actually.
Yeah.
We are thinking about this water management, and only 3% is the fresh water. Because this is not my only question, actually. Many people have interacted in the same way. But 97% is the saline water. I know that it's very difficult to get it treated to the proper use. But I think that any technological development is based on necessity. So do you think that being one of the person who is involved with the national water in a large way, so do you have any future plan of this saline water treatment for use also?
I cannot say the government policy, but we are doing one desalination plant at Middle East, Oman. 1100 crores project, that is approximately 500 MLD desalination plant from the sea itself. And in Gujarat, they are in the process. Gujarat also, particularly the Kutch area, now they are thinking the cost will be very much if you take, they want to take much water there. So they are also thinking to go to the desalination project. They are in tie with some Singapore-based company.
Oh, it's already on the anvil.
Yeah.
I think the issue here is technologies will come up. As you rightly said, technology is basically dependent upon the needs. But at the same time, is somebody ready to pay? Somebody is ready to pay. I mean, if 5 MLD project, 1100 crores, that MLD each liter will cost. Is there some buyer for that? That's very important. And today, if there are no buyers, the people are not ready to pay, then they are actually doing that at the cost of their future. People should accept the idea that if power, you have to pay 3 rupees, 4 rupees, whatever it is. For water also you have to pay. And if you start that process earlier, if you become aware of this requirement earlier, then water will continue for more time. Otherwise, we'll land up in a big problem much sooner than later.
Unless R&D starts around 10 years earlier,
Yeah,
get the effect
absolutely.
later.
So I think if there are no other questions, please.
So, well, my name is Nitish Kumar Brahma. I'm from ex-faculty IIT Kharagpur. And at present, I'm also visiting professor of a different college. And so sometimes I'm concerning about the management, not only management, the technology innovatives of the wastewater treatment, as well as how to recover the loss. If you try to understand that today we are discussing, yesterday we are discussing everywhere, we are concerning about the mainly how we can manage the water crisis. That if you try to think in that way, then I will go back the loss first. How much loss is going in the urban sector and how much in the city sector? If you go in that direction, then your metering system and all these things will be emphasized. Means our technology must be innovated. And that must be also with enforced appropriate technology, not the Western technology. Appropriate means whatever the things we are going to describe in city center as well as in developing. Now, my question is that how much the lesson to, Mr. Ghosh here is present, involved in such type of appropriate enforced, means I will not do anything, technology will force me to do that. Means at present most of the high technological places, you will see automatic system. And our system is so callous that we are not stopping the flow of water, we are just going and use and left. And that is the majority of the which is going in the city center. In compared to urban sector, they are very much conscious about the laws. Means in the village sector, also they are very much. That is my question to you all, also the MPS system, that how much we have actually thinking in that way, the loss systems of the water. Thank you.
I think definitely Mr. Ghosh will remark on that. But what I feel is, the whole issue is economics. You are having advanced systems in many places, automatic systems, you put the hand and the water comes, you remove the hand, the water goes away. There is a cost to making that system. And if the water is measured, you see, unless the loss is measured, you will never manage it. You manage only what is measured. And since we don't measure what is the loss, there is nothing, no management. So basically we have to move to a situation where we start measuring. I think that is the basic answer. It is less of technology but more of attitude.
How much you are developing, that's the process.
Yeah, now let him answer that.
Already there is a SCADA system, automation systems, from where we have already implemented this system at Jaipur. Jaipur, from there you can operate the flow of the waters, and meter is also there, and you can check. But the losses, as far as you concern, and losses also can be recorded. There is a system, there is a SCADA system it's called, and or you can think of the automation system. There are 3-4 stations throughout the Jaipur city. From there they can find out how much water they are giving, how much it is being utilized. But unfortunately, it depends totally on the consumers. Waste and air, that depends on the consumers. There also they cannot charge, although they have proposed that they will charge that much if the losses is there, but they cannot charge. System is there, it can be measured, how much if they have the water meter, how much you are utilizing, and in the process how much it is the leakage, with the leakage, and as I told you that NRW, another technology, NRW we have done at Chennai itself. I cannot tell the exact what is the technology, but we did the same project at Chennai. But the loss in the water and how to protect these leakage.
In that respect, I'd like to say that even in the IIT, the faculty, high society, they are not concerned about also that loss. Means the starting from the top level to bottom level, and there is a loss started. Means if you don't enforce them in automatic system, they will not learn. And if this is not learned, you cannot progress. Try to understand that.
The reason for that is, it is basically, this is not pinching the pocket. The moment it starts pinching the pocket, you will always get alert. You see, that is a policymaker's decision. I mean, people will have to go into metering for water at the earliest. You would like to add or supplement something?
Hello? Yeah, it's on. Actually, we just apprised this house about the existing system which is being practiced at MPS. So it has been an internal arrangement which we are undertaking. And we are very much cautious. We are very much careful about the minimization. We want to minimum that particular water loss and all that. And we are very much concerned about this. But I am not in a position, or we are not in a position to make any comment about the national measures to be taken in this regard. Thank you, sir.
as the available technologies behind seawater desalination are very costly and not very effective.
I run an MMD actually,
Yeah.
liters per day.
I am asking you about what technology are you using there? Please.
Actually, it is a, this program is not for the technology. As far as cost concern, cost differ from this our country to their country. We have taken this job at around 1200 crores or 500 crores. So you can calculate that cost.
But you can see somebody has paid for it, but then that is from economics and private. Otherwise, people would not have paid that much of money. The government would not have paid. Yes, please.
Regarding the...
Please introduce yourself.
my name is Samir Saha. I am working at Holudia, MCC PT India Corporation. So, my hometown is the Bahrampur. Basically, regarding the model of use in an economic way for the using the water. In that town, the Paurasabha has a water plant. Mostly it is based on the RO treatment plant. And they sell the water to the Bahrampur citizen. So it costs, they use the monthly payment. For example, for every family it is around 200 rupees. They have to enlist their name and they give the bottle of the 20 liters. So whatever I have understand is the monthly 10 bottles or 12 bottles is allowed for the each family. So that means it is coming around 20 rupees per bottle of the 20 liters. So whereas the renowned company available in the market, it is around 70 to 75 rupees. So that means like this model can be possible to run maybe no profit, no loss basis even run by the Paurasabha, but it exists and the people are ready to purchase that kind of water for the drinking purpose. I am not talking about the regular use water. But this model is exist.
Yeah, I think it's a revelation, and maybe it will be a good idea to study the water availability in that particular place as compared to the adjacent places. I'm quite sure the water availability will be much better, the quality will be much better as compared to the surrounding adjacent places.
They take the water from the Bhagirathi river and then purify it and then distribute it.
Can the chamber take up this responsibility to do a comparative assessment of Bahrampur vis-a-vis other places? Because this is an eye-opener. Thank you so much.
Very good.
So I think if there are no more questions, let us declare it as closed and we move to the next session.
Thank you. May I request Mr. Partho Bhattacharya to please present the mementos to our speakers. Ladies and gentlemen, without any break, we are going to start our next session, Lessons from the Ground and Business Concepts in Treated Groundwater. You are requested to please be seated. We are going to move on to our next session without any break. S.P. Sinha Roy, Professor Alpana Hira, Ms. Paromita Guha, and Mr. Rajdeep Hira. To please start the session. Sir, may we start the session?
Good afternoon. The advantage of this session is that people will be more interested for lunch rather than listening to the deliberations. But fortunately, we have some eminent speakers, but it is not for speaking only. They have transformed certain theories into action, and from last 2 days what we were thinking, that how we can reach benefit to the people, at least we can show someone who are doing it when we are telling that arsenic is a great menace in West Bengal. There is an humble effort from NGO, and Professor Hira is one of those personalities who are trying to do something for the people. So I will request Professor Hira to deliberate on the efforts made by them, and still I hope they are making it.
Thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Dr. S.P. Roy, for giving such a boosting and lovely introduction. Well, I think first and foremost I must thank the Bengal Chamber of Commerce, who has given us this opportunity to present to the people the work that we are doing in arsenic mitigation at the very grassroots level. For the past 2 days, I think we have come to the tail end of the conclave about the different policies and the different projections that has been done. But here I am going to really show that we are definitely doing, even if it is a very small contribution, to enhance the arsenic contamination, and to see how the people are facing the problems, and as well as how arsenic contaminated water is affecting a large percentage of the rural population of West Bengal. You can see that the presentation today is implementation of Bodagwal programs as one of the mitigation options of arsenic safe water in India, the ground realities and opportunities. Well, the basic bottom line of our forum was water is life. Is it true? Of course, without water we cannot survive. But for a few people, the ground realities are that water is definitely giving them life. Together, hand in hand, they are also giving them an approach, a very fast approach to death. You see, here is Mr. Nibash Roy from Shimulpur, and he has a hand which is amputated, and also his son Dhiman Roy, who had expired due to arsenic related disease. This fellow has also lost his mother from arsenic contamination and arsenic poisoning. These are the people who are affected by arsenic contamination that we have come across in North 24 Parganas, in Boshirhat subdivision. And you see how arsenic has been affected, or it is contaminating the drinking water. According to epidemiological studies, 1 in 50 person may die if exposed to arsenic concentration of 100 ppb that is found in most of the tube wells in our target area. This is the groundwater are the ground realities that we are facing, and most of you have heard about arsenic contamination, and we are reading in the papers, but I'm sure most of us are not involved directly with these poor people who are really affected. So we started this organization, the Aqua Welfare Society, and our main objectives was to provide safe water as well as from modern modified design dugwells, as well as establish and encourage community-based groups, as well as regularly educate the community on arsenic and other health issues. Here, we find that our main objectives is, since we want the people to know as well as involve them in finding alternate source of water. This is the Ganga arsenic belt of the Ganga, Meghna and the Brahmaputra basin, where along the states of UP, Bihar, Jharkhand, West Bengal as well as Assam, these are all along the Bhagirathi and the Ganga belt, we know that there is arsenic in the water. Another thing many of us, I think, do not know or might be knowing is that the presence of arsenic in West Bengal in the 3 aquifer zones, of which the aquifer, unconfined aquifer, which is 50 feet, less than 50 feet, here we have our dugwells, and then aquifer number 2, which is between 50 to 500 feet, and there much of the arsenic concentration is there, whereas aquifer 3 is 500 to 2,000 feet, which is, I presume, it is safe. But I think with further studies, and we have come to know, Mr. Sinha, that definitely in some of by arsenic and mildly affected districts of arsenic is 5. So the severely affected districts population is 50.4 million. We see that less than 50 milligrams per liter is found in police stations of blocks of 111, and 148 has less than 10 milligrams. Another thing which is really very interesting is to know that there is no arsenic in the surface water. I'm sure the hydrologists will know much better than me why is it so. Next is that, so we are boring the dugwells, and this is the model which we do, and we are doing it in a number of districts of West Bengal. And the 5 components of a safe water program is research and site selection, construction, maintenance, education, and surveillance. Of research and site selection, we know that in West Bengal, all the red areas and the green areas, these are mainly the arsenic-affected districts, of which Murshidabad and Malda has definitely, it is the severest affection we've got, and then we've started our work mainly first in North 24 Parganas and later on in Nadia. The groundwater in the 22 blocks of arsenic contamination of North 24 Parganas, we find that in hand tube wells. It was observed that 0.01 and to 0.05 ppm was found in 53.4% in tube wells, hand tube wells, and then 0.05 ppm in 29.5% of the tube wells, and more than 30.3 ppm was found in 3.4% of the hand tube wells. Taking this status, so what we did is that instead of going for these hand tube wells, we started the dugwells, which are, I'm sure we know that from our forefathers or previously in the 19th century, 20th century, there wasn't any hand tube wells. And so most of our forefathers depended on the dugwells, which was found in most of the houses of West Bengal. But the model that we have made is that, which I had shown before, that this is a modified well. It's a bore cum dug well together we have the hand pumps, so that the bacterial, bacterial contamination is restricted to the minimum. The view of the site of the criteria for the site selection is elevated. We have to take this elevated land, close proximity to the pond, but not too close. As well as we have to maintain proper distance, that is about more than 100 feet from the sanitary pit, and it should be away from the trees. While one thing that we know that there are many mitigation programs which are going on in order to from arsenic contamination, but our dug wells or the places where we are working are mainly the remote areas. In some areas, of course, there are pipelines, but there are no water in the pipelines. Or in most of the areas that we are working, pipelines haven't reached. And we have heard that it's going to reach in the near future. And that near future is when, and that's a question mark. I'm giving you ground realities. We've been to the places, and so here while we are selecting the sites, we take the GPS, that is the geocodes, and this is then brought to Kolkata, and then we, on the Google Earth map, we depict and consult with our geologists. Mr. Pratap Chakraborty and Shomendranath Banerjee, who are ex-directors of GSI, and then we show it, or we depict it on the Google Maps, whereby you can see here the geological structure can be seen. And they usually help us help us and we consult them and ask if it is possible for us where to do it, or how far is the sand layer, or where is the silt layer, where is it feasible for us to make the bore dug wells. Next is the number of dug wells that we are done, although we have started very late. So number of dug wells which we have constructed is very less, 217. And there are functional 162, and there are some, due to some, you must be knowing that in the villages it's very difficult because there are some mindsets which we have to come across, and so we need a lot of surveillance as well as awareness. Next is the construction procedure, and here we find that this is the dug well which is done in a very remote place of the Godadhavarpur in Gaighata, and people are definitely they are drinking the water, and they are in many reports we have found that definitely it is helping the poor. This is the design which may be interesting, that this is a bore dug well, and here we find the pipes which are used, and the other picture is that of the outside, and the left hand picture is inside the well. Then we use the perforated PVC pipes which are drilled inside, and then the iron pipes are also given, and sand is used at the sides of the PVC pipe. Sand is very important here because it acts as a filter to the groundwater as well as to bacteria contamination. Next is the concrete rings which we use, and the nets and tin cover, and that is the inside of the dug well, which usually it is this tin cover and the net are used to protect from external debris and tampering. Now, the main thing is that our dug wells, usually we can cater for 20 families, and we form the CBG groups, and these CBG groups are given the handover only after a year. By the time the dug wells are maintained by us, and during the maintaining process, dredging of the dug wells is necessary. Dredging is necessary not always. Previously, the dug wells that we had constructed, that was sometimes, especially in summer, the water used to dry up, and then we needed the dredging. But now, since we are using the boring method also, so dredging, there is also water during the summer season, and that's why the consumers can get water throughout the year in most of the dug wells. Next, we have the bacteria analysis and E. coli. This is done 30 days after the first application of the disinfectant. And for the disinfectants, we use thiolene, that is sodium hypochlorite. And this is usually, maybe have a chart. And the chart is given over to the villagers, the CBG groups, and they measure the water in the dug well and they use the thiolene. Thiolene is used as a disinfectant for the bacterial contamination in case if there is bacterial contamination in the water. Here we find that in some of the dug wells, we find that the total coliforms and the fecal coliforms are, this was in the year when we had really started, that is 2003 to 2006, we have seen that the fecal to coliform in most of the cases was nil. Now, after the regular use of thiolene, we have seen that the fecal coliform has really deteriorated. Most of them have shown 0. Next is in August 2006 introduced weekly with health meetings. And since we know that in North 24 Parganas or in Nadia, there is, together with arsenic, there is iron in the water. Iron gives the water a turbid color. And for that, in order to get reduce that turbid color, so we use the filter the iron, we use the Motka filter or the earthen filter. We have tried, we have tried the steel body filter, the plastic filter, the earthen filters, but our experts have seen that the water from the Motka or the earthen filter was best. And moreover, why was it best? Because it was affordable for the villagers, the poor people of the rural areas. So we have to take into consideration their money, their how much they can pay, or do they pay at all? That is, we have to take into consideration, because we want them to drink the water. They do not have to pay any money, but only alternative is that please do not drink the arsenic contaminated tube well waters. So, main concern was and still is how to make the dug well community-based program sustainable, which we are trying a level best. And you know that from drinking arsenic water, there are many types of serious health effects, and these include lung, kidneys, livers, cancer, bladder cancers, as well as diabetes, respiratory, cardiovascular disease, and birth defects. Every year, new studies are being published, and we are finding there are many victims exposed to arsenic in utero and early childhood. So these village meetings are held in regular basis for awareness, to create awareness, as well as to motivate these people to use the dug well waters and not to drink the arsenic contaminated tube well waters. Although we have started in a very small scale, but we are trying a level best to motivate these people so that they can survive more. So my main it's not now with the findings we have seen that not only the people who have been drinking the water for 20 years, 25 years, they are having the different types of arsenic skin lesions from arsenic, but we've seen that also children having the lesions. Even I've gone to the field and I've seen small children of 14 years of age, 13, 12, 10 with skin pigmentations. And that is tremendous, because once that comes, unless an alternate source of water is there, you must be knowing that there is no medication for arsenic. contamination. Only thing is that a good nutrition, which I'm sure the poor people cannot afford. So we have to supply them or give them an alternate source of water. So will our children face the same fate as the parents? Here, researches are on for respiratory lung function in children. And we have seen that this is a study which had been done by Dr. Alan Smith in Chile, where he had seen that children born after 1957, out of that, they had died, 30 to 34. Many of them had died between the age 30 to 34, and this was due to the drinking of the arsenic-contaminated water in Antofagasta in Chile. Next, surveillance. This program has been it has been a success. Our organization is trying its best to achieve its goal because we continue having this tracking, where the monthly report of the status of dug wells are given, monitoring of arsenic, annually bacteria test after construction, PWX uploading, as well as use of cell phone to upload. These are done by the field workers in the field with the help of technology. And the monthly status and reports, everything is given out. We have a website, and you can see our website, and there everything is very transparent, and it is loaded. Next, the annual water analysis we make, whereby arsenic levels are, usually arsenic water is taken for treatment during or for testing during the summer months. And this is the latest that we have got in March 2012, when you know that the dug well water is very less. And that time, only in one of the dug wells, we have found that the arsenic is quite high, and so we have taken measures so that this water can be used for other purposes rather than drinking. Next, these are, I want to bring up some aspects, and this is that in 2005, we have seen that a dug well has been constructed, and in 2007, we had to close it. This involves definitely a number of factors, which if you go to the village, you'll find family feuds, as well as also there are many other factors which I don't want to discuss here, that really becomes a big issue in the villages. Next is our workforce, and here in Kolkata we are discussing the issues which are brought by our field workers, and usually it's a collective work and it's a teamwork. Next, other than these, there are other field workers, but fortunately, it happened that they were there, so we had just clicked, and they are a real workforce. Next, children drinking alternate source of water will not suffer from diseases caused by arsenic. Definitely. I will end on that note that let's join our hands and make an effort to assure our children a better source of arsenic-safe water. Yes, all this time we were talking about rural areas, areas of North 24 Parganas, areas of Nadia. But what do you think of this report, which had come out in the Hindustan Times on 19th of August? The killer at your city's door, poison in your water. Do we sit still, or do we still sit laying back, doing nothing? Unless and until we, the urban people, put our great effort in order to reduce the arsenic contamination of the people, the suffering that they are suffering in the rural areas, we can see already in Kolkata there are so many places where arsenic contamination is found in the underground water. And this is the founding members. Usually it was the project well. They had started the work in 2001, and then the Aqua Welfare Society joined them, and now we are doing the carry on their good work. Thank you very much. And the next part of the presentation, this was the ground realities, and the opportunities will be done by Mr. Rajdeep Hira.
Sorry, people, ladies and gentlemen, I wouldn't take long. I know we are getting late and some of us are really hungry, including me. Well, the opportunities. Yeah, starting an organization is good. Fighting the problems is really good. But what does these organization has to do for the society, which it relates to, apart from, solving the problem? Well, Aqua Welfare Society has not only developed itself in a major way in the North 24 Parganas and the other districts, but it also has brought in employment. Well, people in rural areas are very less educated and they have minimal wage. But we have brought not only blue-collar workers, but also white-collar workers. The blue-collar workers are manual laborers who just go on like daily basis of wage, and the white collars are those who are into administrative work. Well, people, you can see, seasonal farmers are there in rural areas, but they are for a particular season. The rest, we come in and we generate work for them. We have hired these people, the diggers, plumbers, the masons, on a contractual basis. And now we are giving them proper employment. Not even the men, but also the women. Why would they be left out? The women have also come into our mission and joined hands. And we are working well with them. And most of them are very efficient. Well, other business opportunities are like manufacturing of PVC perforated filter pipes of 20 feet length that cost rupees 20,000. Manufacturing of concrete rings, which are very much essential for each and every dug well, of 36 inch in diameter and 11 inch in height, that cost rupees 200 each. And people, yes, Motka filters can be brought into the economy on a larger scale. Thiolin, which is very much essential for each and every particular dug well, which is a diluted form of chlorine, cost rupees 10 per liter. These PVC pipes can be brought from where it's been manufactured, and each and every pipe is rupees 10,000. Well, we create dug wells on a seasonal basis. We construct them on a seasonal basis. Like, we take 50 dug wells at a time. Each dug well with one PVC pipe would yield 10,000 rupees. 50 would yield 5 lakh rupees. Well, that's a big, huge amount. Along with it comes the subsidiary parts, which can be sold to the market, which can be even purchased, and a very well market can be formed by the help of these subsidiary products. We have the concrete rings. We require 20 concrete rings, 20 to 25, depending upon the height and the depth of the ground. These rings, including the transport cost rupees 200. Now, these concrete rings are not being used apart from sanitary pit and for construction of dug wells. There are no other such uses. I have personally not come across such uses. I think it's a very good way in which we can use lots of these concrete rings for the construction purpose of dug wells. If we take on this on a major scale or a larger scale, this would really form into a very good form of market. Then comes the Motka filters. Yes, the Motka filters is dying. There are traditional Motka filters as well as filters with taps. And seriously, these are much better than the plastic bottles which people use, which even it's on your tables. Because iron dissolved in the water with repeated use sticks to the bottle, and that actually forms a turmeric color. Then there is the odor, which definitely causes a bad smell to the water. And it is very true that to store water in bottles which gets hot might be harmful because it releases chemicals. On the contrary, Motka filters are much more safe. They are cheap, much cheaper than steel filters, and it just costs 150 rupees. And that is easily affordable by these people. They are big, there are varied forms and sizes, and it can also be used to store rainwater. Yes, rainwater, we've been talking about rainwater management and watershed management and all. Yes, Motka filter is one way in which we can store rainwater and can be used for certain domestic purposes. In this way, we can actually revive the pottery industry. This industry is dying, people. This pottery industry is a family trade. Lots of people, lots of families are involved in it. Cottage industry, it's a form of cottage industry, which can really be brought into the market by helping or by making these Motka filters more popular. According to a report of Chagda block, the population is 3,62,739. Like on an average basis, it's 70,000 families. If each family purchases one Motka filter, which costs rupees 150, the projected it's being done on a weekly basis. 500 grams of thiolin are being used for a month. That is the usage procedure. And let's give it a thought. If 20 families on an average uses 500 millimeter of thiolin for one dugwell, then at the end, keeping in mind the population and the family of Chagda block, 70,000 families would require 3,500 bottles of thiolin, 500 milliliter bottles of thiolin per month. Well, yes, if this is the projected score, the projected figure, then we can surely form a market out of it. And the hardware stores from where the farmers get their fertilizers, their pesticides, and even some of us get the acids, we can actually sell this thiolin bottles in those sorts of stores, which can be easily available to all the rural people who are into this. Well, sustainability is another word which is being heard a lot, and to continue and maintain a program and organization, surveillance is very much required. Proper monitoring, proper maintenance is very much required. Well, we, Aqua Welfare Society, we do it in bringing in the latest technologies. Like we manage it through our own internal methods where the registers and that manual labor is done, like official work is done, and also through pure water exchange. People, pure water exchange is a brainchild of Rajesh Shah. He has invented this particular website for NGOs like us, who can actually create or who can actually bring a transparency in our work. We bring in easy and very fast way of actually you can visit this site and get to know us better. We update our dugwell which are constructed. We map it properly on the Google map, which is available on the website on Pure Water Exchange. We maintain daily reports of Pure Water Exchange. You can visit the site and come to know about it very easily. And mostly this is done just to find out the numbers of consumers, the increasing or the decreasing number of consumers, what's the reason behind the decreasing number of consumers, and also to trace and repair these dugwells, because that is very much involved. That is very much needed. I have been to the field and I've seen a lot of NGOs being providing them tube wells. But after a month, when I go back again to the field, the tube wells it's not working. It's like they don't come up. These NGOs, they don't come up to see whether it's working properly or not. I mean, there is no use. When you provide something, why don't you go and look at it? It's yours. After all, the people, it's human beings who are going to have this, who are going to consume water from it. So, through a very proper and simple form of supply chain management, we can actually bring the consumers and the suppliers close to each other, and we as an intermediary, we purchase the products from the suppliers, produce it, construct the duct well, and distribute this water to the customers. Well, yeah, this is very easy on pen and paper and on presentations, but on the reality, it's very difficult because there are people who are sitting on chairs which are powerful. And I would really like to quote few lines from a very popular Bengali song. Bhalo jone roilo bhanga ghore, mondo jeshe singashone chore. If these problems can be curtailed and can be handled properly, tomorrow these children, your children, would have a better life. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Aqua Welfare Team. Our next speaker is Dr. S.P. Sinha Roy. But before that, I'll take Dr. Sinha Roy's permission and make an announcement. Following this session, we'll have a felicitation of the children. We already mentioned yesterday that we have a sit and draw competition every year, and the children who will be felicitated today. So we'll request you to bear with us for 10 minutes early and join us for the felicitation of the children, following which there will be lunch. May I request Dr. Sinha Roy to please address?
Again, good afternoon. We are most probably really not interested to have a long lecture, etc. And I don't believe in that also. Since it is the groundwater realities, although it was written as realities on ground, so, and we have talked so many things from yesterday on groundwater, I think we should know what is the ground reality about the groundwater. Now, we have got 432 billion cubic meters. That is the resource of groundwater we have got in India. But then, if we consider the surface water, 680 billion cubic meters, that brings the total availability of the water so far as our country is concerned. Now, what is our share of that quantity? In 1991, per capita share was 2,200 cubic meters. In 2002, it was 1,829, and as per the estimate, it will be further lowered to 1,340 cubic meters by 2025 and 1,140 in 2050. Now, if it is below 1,000, then it becomes water scarce area. So, we are very, very quickly, we are going to have a situation where we will have stress in our water resource, and for that we are thinking that the quantity of water has to be augmented. Rainwater harvesting, as it is a general call for Indian masses. In the planning, it has got its own place, and we are thinking that we can augment our resource by successfully and scientifically implemented rainwater harvesting program. But that is one part. The other part is that in groundwater, because of the excessive withdrawal and maybe the associated chemical changes in the underground due to the withdrawal, as also due to the creation of the reducing environment, we have got different changes in the chemical composition of groundwater. That I am coming later on. Now, what is the position? About 80 to 90% of the rural drinking water supply comes from groundwater. 50% in the urban area, they receive drinking water from groundwater, and 50% of the total irrigated land receives from groundwater. Now, if we consider water use in India, you can see that the first one, that is in the agricultural sector, the requirement will be much more compared to drinking and domestic water, industry, power generation, etc. Now, agriculture, we are leaving apart, but in the drinking water, which is the highest priority as per the national water policy, although we are not having more than 8 to 10% of the total groundwater resources, yet in last 20 years we are finding lot of changes in the quality aspect of it. What is this impact of groundwater withdrawal? It can dry up the wells, it can lower the water level, it can enhance the saline water intrusion, and it can cause the drying up of the rivers which receives the dry weather flows from groundwater. But the most important for today's discussion is the groundwater quality degradation that can also be affected. Now, habitation-wise, if you see that this is the general position of the fluoride-affected areas in India, and especially in the western part and in the central part of our country, the fluoride contamination is quite prominent, and right from 1934, when it was detected in Nalgonda area of Andhra Pradesh, still it is continuing, and the latest addition is West Bengal and Assam. This is the arsenic. Initially, although it was known only in the West Bengal part of it, but now in the entire Indo-Gangetic Valley of Jharkhand, Bihar, UP, and also in the Brahmaputra Valley in Assam, we are getting the water, groundwater, which is contaminated with arsenic. Then we have got the salinity. In the first session, some gentlemen talked about the salinity, and I feel that the salinity is a big challenge to us, because not only we have got the salinity of the coastal area, we have got huge groundwater resource which is brackish water, and that is really lying unutilized, although we are going towards the shortage of water in near future. So this is an area where our technology should concentrate. Mind that in Israel, they do not have a single drop of fresh water, but the brackish water, whatever they have got, they are utilizing it for proper water management and for the agricultural management. We should follow our entire technological advances we should try to direct towards retrieving a good quantity of water resource which is brackish but which can be made fresh if technological advances can be made. Then we have got the nitrate pollution, although it is more or less point pollution, but this nitrate pollution is also something to reckon with. So, and if we can map the overexploited groundwater areas with fluoride occurrences, we can see that there can be a positive correlation. These are the overexploited blocks, and about 66 million people are at risk. They are living in this area where groundwater has already been overexploited. Now, this can be, as I said, it can be caused by agricultural, urban and industrial waste, overexploitation and combination of the two. Now, why this type of contaminants are important to understand? Because it creates disease burden among the people. Nitrates causes the blue baby syndrome. This pathogen bacteria and viruses causes the typhoid, cholera, etc. And the trace metals like arsenic, lead, mercury, cadmium, copper, chromium and nickel, which are toxic and even carcinogenic. And this pollution can be two types: geogenic pollution, that means it is within the geological formation, and it can be the anthropogenic, that means it has been brought from outside. Then iron pollution, that is also there, and as I told you, this inland salinity and coastal salinity, they are also two important factors. If we can do something for that, we will be able to have more and more fresh water. Now, it is not that there is no technology. Technology is known, and a number of technologies are in practice outside India and now even in India. For iron, there are different methods: aeration, chemical treatment, cation exchange, granular activated carbon, and Viordex method is very common, but still we do not have a very foolproof, user-friendly method for iron distribution. Under Rajiv Gandhi Drinking Water Mission, some 6,000 iron elimination plant was installed, but then most of them are not working. In fluoride, there are different methods, but most commonly used are activated alumina technology, and very recently the RO has come as a good savior. Then very recently IIT Chennai, they have experimented with nanofiltration technique, and that also they are going to have plant, and in West Bengal we are experimenting with that. Then for arsenic, a couple of techniques are there, but basically it is the adsorption and the ion exchange method that are being practiced now. But very recently, the Swedish technology on the bioremediation has come, where they are creating the aquifer, and through that aquifer, they are using some biological methods to have arsenic free. And on R&D basis, 2 such plants are being installed in the Swarupnagar area of North 24 Pargana district. But as I told you, the salinity, reverse osmosis method is the only method nowadays we have, and not that, although in our state it is not very popular, but then in Punjab and Andhra Pradesh for fluoride elimination. This plant based on the reverse osmosis is being used, and although the major one are based on activated alumina, that is in operation in Rajasthan, Andhra Pradesh, Gujarat, Tamil Nadu and Maharashtra. A number of technologies based on activated alumina, granular ferric hydroxide, traditional oxidation coagulation method are being experimented for removal of arsenic in West Bengal. And for desalination, reverse osmosis based plants are being used. Now, if we see the situation, then although the removal technology has not become a matured industry till today, because we had the huge natural resource of water earlier, but now with the development both in agriculture and urban sector as also in the industries, day by day we are reaching to a situation where to get the fresh water supply, especially for drinking water, it is unavoidable to develop the technology in a much bigger way. Now, people are also adapted to this type of situation. You can remember that when people used to go out, they used to have their pitcher filled with water. But now, every railway station, you will find that they will be purchasing so-called mineral water. You go to the rural areas, even in the villages, you will have the bottled packaged water in their shops. So that means people, they know the value of clean and safe water. That is why the people who can afford, they will go for the clean and safe water. Now, if we think about the community, it is necessary now to go for that, and wherever it is possible, wherever it is economically feasible and user-friendly, there certainly there is a big scope for the industries to come up with this clean technology. Thank you. Any question? Please. ওখানে
talked about all the village water, rural area, particularly water contamination, all these things. Now, in recently, but 1 decade or 2 decades, this chemical fertilizer you see, this chemical fertilizer, this is as per know, is making water contamination very greater way. Because all the fertilizer what we are using, imported fertilizer, most of the out of this, this may be utilized, say 30% for agriculture development, but rest of the things it will be in the ground instead, and that is creating a lot of water contamination. That is not been pointed out. Has there been any study for this?
The map which I have shown you, that in the for agricultural activities. So, for agricultural activities, it is necessary to have the manures and the chemical fertilizers, that is the inorganic fertilizers, they are being utilized. That is why, when it has been studied, it has been found that the nitrate pollution in groundwater is due to large-scale discharge of the nitrogen-rich fertilizer, like urea, etc. Similarly, the other things, like even in arsenic, the irrigation tube wells, they discharge that water, and it has been found that partly the discharge water also actually recharges the aquifer with arsenic. So like that there is study, and a number of reports are available. It has also been found that the bacteria, especially the arsenic reducing bacteria, different universities and institutes, that has been done. So in the lunchtime I can explain you all those things. Yes, please. As per the organizer, I can take another
very short questions regarding the arsenic contamination. So far I understand, there are two sectors. One is the groundwater and the surface water. And is there any technology developed more to use the surface water than to groundwater? Because of the contamination comes from the groundwater, right? In addition to that, is there any technology, simple technology have been developed that in tube well, they can be used as a filter, and whenever they suck the water, that the arsenic will be just filtered, and they will be getting more fresh water in respect to the arsenic.
No,
that is the two very vital question, how you design this problem.
Now actually, if there is enough surface water, then instead of using it for treatment of arsenic, we can just use it for drinking water, which we used to do earlier after the treatment of bacteria, etc. So, but wherever it is available in plenty, as we have got in West Bengal, the river Bhagirathi, the Ganga water, that is being utilized, and about 12 plants under the master plan of arsenic mitigation have been constructed, and 45% of the arsenic affected areas are being covered from the surface water. So it is already there. Yes?
What is the effect of arsenic on agricultural crops?
Yeah. It has been found that the arsenic is available even in the food chain. Vidhan Chandra Krishi Vishwavidyalaya, they have done very commendable work, and they have found that leafy vegetables, they are having high quantity of arsenic because of the arsenic-rich groundwater that is used for the irrigation. Similarly, the straw part of it in the paddy, that has got more arsenic compared to the grains. So like that, even in brinjals, we have found the arsenic. Studies have been made, but the impact of these vegetables and the food grains on the human body has also not been studied in details, and that study is being done now. Yeah.
Hello, I'm Tamara from the University of Oxford in the Department of Environmental Engineering. And I just had a comment directed towards the Bengal Chamber directly in response to somebody who made a comment over here about the filter unit in his hometown. Is that I, in fact, am already doing a comparative study of 10 of the most widely used arsenic removal units in West Bengal, and I'd be happy to disseminate my information directly to you when the study is done. I just need to know who to give that information to. And that was my only comment.
এটা তো বেঙ্গল চেম্বার থেকে হ্যাঁ বলুন
Thank you very much for that. We have the Bengal Chamber officials right here. If you could please take down their email IDs, and we'd love to have your report with us once it's completed. This is Ongona, there's Shukanna, so they'll just take their IDs. Thank you.
So, the organizer has told me not to take any other question. So, if it is there, please, and the lunch hour, we can discuss on that. Thank you.
May I request Mr. Arun Kumar Mukherjee to please present mementos to our speakers. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a very pleasant task now. We are felicitating the young painters who participated in our sit and draw competition on the occasion of World Environment Day. There's another announcement. If you, the presentations shared by the speakers will be uploaded on our Bengal Chamber website, www.bengalchamber.com. End of next week, you can download the presentations from there, only the presentations which are shared by the speakers. Now may I request Mr. Arun Kumar Mukherjee and Mr. Shutanu Ghosh, the chairperson and co-chairperson of the Energy and Environment Committee of the Bengal Chamber, to please come up and present the mementos and felicitate the young painters who participated in the sit and draw competition of the Bengal Chamber.
We would like to invite Somnath Sadhukan, IICP, to come up, please. Somnath Sadhukan. IICP. Okay, sir. Showman Bagdi. Bishojit Mojumdar. Can we have Shubhakuna Sarkar from Shami Pranobananda School? Is Shubhakuna here? Would I now like to invite Oshmita Ghosh, APJ School. Shubhakuna? Shubhakuna is here. Oshmita Ghosh, APJ, Shomali Shamonto, Vidya Bharati School. Oshmita Ghosh, APJ School. His name must be in the first row. Boshakba just before Vidya Bharati, his name must be in the first row. Shomali Shamonto. That bolo now this is over.
এবারে তোমার অস্মিতা ঘোষ।
Yes.
তোমার নাম কি?
Oshmita's circuit certificate is with অঙ্গনা তুই যদি একটু ওখানে থাকতে পারিস। সোমালি সামন্ত is done. Somnath Shadukhan is from IICP. Is he here? Okay. On behalf of Somnath, the IICP representative will collect it. Somali Shamanto, is it there? Moushikta Chatterjee. Moushikta Chatterjee. Riddhima Das, Vidya Bharati. Can we have Riddhima Das? Swati Shah. Bidisha Sheth. They are all from Vidya Bharati. Trisha Chakraborty. No? Trisha Chakraborty, Vidya Bharati. Okay. Atrey Mukherjee is unfortunately not well, so I would request her mother to collect the certificate, please. Oishiki Pal, Vidya Bharati. Oishiki Pal. Rachna Mishra. Srimoy Banerjee. Ishita Bhattacharya. We would now like to invite Oshmit Shorkar from Calcutta Airport English High School. Deepayon Shaha, Calcutta Airport English High School. Oshmit Shorkar, Deepayon Shaha. তোমরা ওখানে যাও। Piali Manna, Calcutta Girls. Piali Manna, Calcutta Girls. Diashi Chakraborty, Heritage Academy. Diashi Chakraborty, Heritage Academy. Onunna Dash, Lamatania for Girls. Onunna Dash, Lamatania for Girls. Manish Sinha Biswas, Lamatania for Boys. Ritika Ghosh, Mansoor Habibullah Memorial School. Mrinalini Ghosh, Modern High School. Nilanjana Mondol, South Point. Nilanjana Mondol, South Point. Orgho Guha, South Point. Orgho Guha, South Point. Please come up. Adriti Chattopadhyay, South Point. Orpon Bhattacharya, South Point. Shuchona Haldar, South Point. Arnob Rokhit, South Point. Titash Raha. Titash Raha. Obipsha Patro, South Point. Shobhik Paul, South Point. Shubhadeep Pal, South Point. Joita Chaudhary, South Point. Mohima Chakraborty, South Point. Mohima Chakraborty, South Point. Mohima Chakraborty, South Point. তোমার নাম কি? তোমার নাম মহিমা চক্রবর্তী, তুমি চলে যাও নিতে। She is Mohima Chakraborty. Vinay Dhanuka. We would now like to call Vinay Dhanuk from Towards Life Foundation. Vinay Dhanuk, Towards Life Foundation. Shantanu Haldar, Towards Life Foundation. Rekha Mojumdar, Towards Life Foundation. Pooja Gharami, Towards Life Foundation. Khokon Bayan. Dipankar Boiddo. Ajoy Koila. Shonali Haldar. Rohit Ahmed. Payal Noshkor. Dibbendu Noshkor. Preeti Bhandari. Shivani Dhanuk. Shupriya Haldar. Binoy Dash. Dipali Haldar. Monju Sardar. Pooja Haldar. Ritika Ghorami. Shikha Haldar. Govind Naya. Yes. S.K. Mohammad Hamim, Swami Pranobananda Vidyapith. Priyangana Shaha, Swami Pranobananda Vidyapith. Arnob Jana. Tuhin Rai.
তুহিন রায়, তপব্রত মণ্ডল, অঞ্জলি সাধু খান, সোমপ্রীত সাহা, অঞ্জন পায়রা, পরে সুস্মিত মুখার্জি, ঐশী সাহা, ইন্দ্রদীপ দাস, সেন্ট জেভিয়ার্স ইনস্টিটিউশন, সোহম দে, শ্রী রামকৃষ্ণ শিশু তীর্থ, পার্থিব ব্যানার্জি, দি আদিত্য একাডেমি, অস্মিতা ভট্টাচার্য, দ্য ফিউচার ফাউন্ডেশন, ক্রিস্টিনা বিশ্বাস, বিবেকানন্দ মিশন স্কুল, দেবস্মিতা শেঠ, WWA কাশীপুর স্কুল, Thank you so much. I would like to thank all our dignitaries here. And this is an initiative which Bengal Chamber has taken, and each year we will follow this initiative. We would like to work with these little kids, and we will next year also take it further. We will have another sit and draw, and we will inform all the schools. Thank you so much, parents, for coming here with your kids, and thank you all. Indradip Das is here, so can we have Indradip Das?